let's get started. The first point is really not even worth addressing, but here we go anyway. Indeed, I said I would not be referencing your ignorant videos because your source work is atrocious, and quoting methods are too loaded with bullcrap to give it the time of day.
Let us follow your logic. You say that my source work is shoddy and I'm not worth the time of day to respond to. Yet if this is the case, why then do you respond? I have sourced all of my assertions concerning homosexuality in the animal kingdom and scientific studies concerning homosexuality. They have come from credible sources, respected by the secular and scientific communities, including, but in no way limited to, NOAA.gov, ScienceDaily.com, National Geographic, Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, the works of several evolutionary biologists, the works of several zoologists, and news organizations such as the Associated Press. On your side, your sources include, in their entirety, a quote mine from Biological Exuberance, a quote mine from National Geographic, one article from Wired.com, one article from Softpedia, several articles from Wikipedia, Dictionary.com, TrueOrigins.org, a creationist website in which you found that article on Apologetics Press, a creationist propaganda mill, and not to mention you've cited your previous videos on the subject, themselves no better sourced. The shoddy source work is yours. You are the one picking and choosing. You are the one who has displayed a complete lack of understanding or even respect for the scientific method. Your so-called secular case is a farce.
But it was a point made for the Christians who do also watch my videos. Shall I say, where in my videos except one did I use the Bible? Or shorten it to, where in my videos do I use the Bible? Because you found one example.
That is a lie. I actually found more than one, and indeed you go on to spend most of the video trying to disqualify the others by saying that I started it, and that you are simply defending your biblical whatever. But the fact is, you claim to have never used the Bible, and only one example is enough to prove you're a liar. Furthermore, the quote that you used of me in which you claim this is how I started it is indeed my commentary made on your initial assertion that we have divine gifts from God. I was responding to this biblical claim inserted in a so-called secular argument, which you did so without provocation, and I had never responded to you before. You included it in your argument, and only when you were called on this bullshit did you try to say that it was just for the Christians, it wasn't part of your argument. Then why even include it in the video? Your excuse that it was just for the Christians is insufficient and isn't supported by the context in which your assertion was originally made. I also find it funny that you go on to complain about me cutting up your videos while you are in the middle of cutting up mine. Again, your words and your actions are not lining up.
No. Excuse you. You were the moron that brought this argument up. Not Krazie316, but MikeLibertarian. Did you not say...
Well, it's obvious that as a Christian, you hold to the delusion that an invisible man in the sky, namely God, created humanity as higher beings than other animals, namely, in God's own image. No, excuse you for being a bold-faced liar. The quote you used from me came from after you suggested that the Bible was supported by archaeological findings and fulfilled prophecies. Archaeological findings you have yet to cite, never mind fulfilled prophecies. Remember that talk about shoddy source work? Yeah, that. I'm beginning to believe you when you say that you have no time to respond to me, because your words are hasty and you don't seem to be double-checking your work before you post it.
Of the argument that you brought up, not Krazie316, is the AD argument where there actually was no year zero, unlike MikeLibertarian says there was an alleged year zero, because directly after 1 BC, we jumped into 1 AD, Anno Domino, which in Latin is for in the year of our Lord. I got that wrong, so I'm correcting it now. It wasn't after death, it's in the year of our Lord. But anyway, like I said, MikeLibertarian got that wrong. To further discredit what MikeLibertarian says, Wikipedia states year 0 is not used in the widely used Gregorian calendar nor its predecessor, the Julian calendar. However, there is a year 0 in the astronomical year numbering where it coincides with the Julian year 1 BC. You got that information kind of wrong and twisted. You might want to go restate that.
The failure is yours. I was mistaken in using the term year 0 when discussing the Anno Domini system, but I twisted nothing. I find it funny that you used the Wikipedia article on Anno Domini, not Domino, in your attack against me. I take it then that you will accept Wikipedia as a valid source, because at the top of the very article you use is a picture of none other than Dionysius Exiguus. And the first line under the section titled History begins, "The Anno Domini dating system was devised in 525 by Dionysius Exiguus." You don't even have to scroll down to read it. When you say that you couldn't find tell of this story anywhere, are you retarded or are you a liar? If you are lying, then are you lying about actually looking in the first place? Or are you being dishonest about not finding it because you needed it to stay missing for what you think was a valid argument to make an excuse for your red herring fallacy? Allow me to remind you, since your memory is shit, or maybe you're lying about this too, but you brought up this discussion about AD by asking a question about where does AD come from. Even though your point was, is, and will always be a red herring, I responded to you because you wanted me to address all of your points. This is a picture of Dionysius Exiguus. This is the same picture you will see at the top of the Wikipedia article in question. Use this image as a reference to help you find what was right in front of you when you return to that article. Concerning all of these attempts to separate your religious assertions from your secular argument, I must heavily impress upon you that if they were not part of your argument, you should not have used them. I was not the first one to mention divine gifts from God. I was not the first one to mention biblical archaeological findings and fulfilled prophecies. I was not the first one to mention AD. I did not use Noah's Ark in an attempt to discredit professionals over amateurs. If these biblical arguments and other religious assertions were not part of your case against homosexuality, you should never have used them in your videos in the first place. If you did it just for the Christians in your audience, you should have made a separate video addressed just to them and left your secular argument to stand on secular assertions alone.
Therefore, you present a blatant assertion on my position without any evidence of hate speech whatsoever.
Okay, concerning whether or not you and your gang are bigots, let's just continue to pass tolerance laws and grant homosexuals the right to marry whom they are physiologically attracted to. And like you and 4G say, we'll see what happens. As far as hate speech, allow me to inform you that there is more to hate speech than simply saying the words fags or queers. There is also the manner in which you speak, and any new words which you embrace instead of fags and queers to try and get around it. Like the term perverts, for example. Using the term perverts in the fashion y'all do is pretty hateful. Using it interchangeably when referring to homosexuals, spitting it when you speak it in videos, often all caps text shouting in comments. This is a very hateful manner. Also, there's this.
Deal with it, get over it, have a civil union because your marriage is counterfeit. It's not a real marriage, you don't deserve that title. You deserve civil union. That's the bottom line.
Okay, I understand now. Clearly, you said that out of love. I mean, especially when you spit the word counterfeit, I just get this chill that must clearly be my experiencing the presence of Jeebus.